The auditorium of the Interstellar Academy hummed with a strange energy, a mix of nervous excitement and curiosity. Rows of cadets from countless worlds filled the tiered seats, their bioluminescent skin, segmented limbs, and multifaceted eyes reflecting the flickering light of the holographic projectors overhead. Today was no ordinary lecture. The instructors had promised a deep dive into the galaxy's most lethal predators, and the air crackled with anticipation as the demonstration was about to begin. At the back of the room, a human cadet named Kael lounged in his seat, one leg propped casually on the chair in front of him. His dark hair fell messily over his forehead, and he fiddled with a small, outdated Earth gadget, a music player from the early 21st century. His relaxed posture stood out against the rigid attentiveness of his alien peers, who shot him curious glances. To them, humans were still an enigma, a species that had joined the Galactic Coalition only recently, bringing with them tales of a chaotic, untamed world called Earth. "Attention, cadets!" The commanding voice of Instructor Vraxis, a towering Xylorian with crystalline scales and 6 articulated limbs, cut through the murmurs. The lights dimmed, and a massive hologram materialized at the center of the auditorium. It depicted a snarling creature with jagged spines, glowing red eyes, and a maw that could crush durasteel. The audience gasped, some cadets clutching their seats, their antennae twitching in alarm. Kael barely glanced up, stifling a yawn. "That's just a Creathian razor beast," he muttered to himself. "My cousin's dog could take it." His comment drew a sharp look from a nearby cadet, a feathered avix with glowing eyes. "You jest, human?" it whispered, its voice a melodic chirp. "That creature could rend you in seconds." Kael grinned, not looking up from his gadget. "Sure if you let it, but you just gotta know how to handle him." The avix blinked, its feathers ruffling in confusion. But before it could respond, Vraxis's voice boomed again. "Today we study the apex predators of the cosmos. Prepare yourselves for a lesson in survival." The holograms cycled through a parade of terrifying creatures. A venomous serpent from the acid swamps of Vortis, a multi-limbed stalker from the shadow plains of Nexara, and a winged terror that hunted in the storms of Gesara Prime. Each image elicited gasps and murmurs from the cadets, their imaginations running wild with scenarios of facing such beasts. Kael, however, remained unimpressed, his fingers tapping a rhythm on his music player. As Vraxis gestured dramatically, the hologram of a massive, tentacled predator from the deep oceans of Korath flickered. The image warped, its tentacles twisting into comical spirals, its menacing growl replaced by a cartoonish squeak. The auditorium erupted in nervous laughter, and Vraxis's scales flushed a deeper shade of blue, a sign of irritation. "Silence," he barked, waving a limb at the malfunctioning projector. "This is a serious matter." But the situation escalated. The hologram sputtered, sparks flying from the projector, and the creature seemed to break free from its confines, its tentacles lashing out into the auditorium. Cadets screamed, diving under their seats as the holographic beast loomed over them, its form glitching between terrifying and absurd. Kael stood, unfazed, raising his voice over the chaos. "Relax, it's just a hologlitch. Happens all the time back home with old VR sets." His calm demeanor only heightened the panic of his peers, who couldn't comprehend his nonchalance. A cadet with translucent skin and glowing veins pointed at him, trembling. "How are you not terrified, human?" Kael shrugged, slipping his music player into his pocket. "Seen worse at a county fair. Ever been to a rodeo?" Vraxis, struggling to regain control, waved his limbs frantically. "Remain seated. The system is stabilizing." The hologram finally snapped back into place, the tentacled monster replaced by a serene image of a starry sky. The cadets slowly returned to their seats, their eyes still wide with shock. "Now," Vraxis said, his voice strained, "we move to the main event, Earth's predators." The hologram shifted to a golden savanna, where a lion prowled with regal menace. Its mane rippled in the wind, and its roar echoed through the auditorium. The cadets leaned forward, captivated by the creature's power. "Observe the lion," Vraxis said, his tone reverent. "A terrestrial predator of unmatched strength and ferocity." Kael snorted, earning another round of curious stares. "Strength? Sure. Ferocity? Depends on the day." The hologram transitioned to a murky river, where a crocodile lurked, its eyes glinting above the water's surface. A stealthy ambush predator, Vraxis continued, capable of dragging prey twice its size into the depths. Kael leaned back, crossing his arms. Yeah, but they're lazy. You just gotta stay out of their splash zone. The room's attention shifted to him, a mix of disbelief and intrigue. A cadet with a segmented exoskeleton leaned toward him. You speak as if you've encountered these creatures personally. Kael grinned, his eyes sparkling with mischief. Encountered? My grandpa had a croc in his pond, called it Chomper. Used to toss it chicken scraps. The auditorium fell silent, the cadets exchanging bewildered glances. Vraxis, visibly flustered, cleared his throat. That is highly irregular, Cadet Kael. Not really, Kael replied, shrugging. Earth's just like that, you get used to it. The hologram shifted again, revealing a massive bear lumbering through a forest, its claws raking through tree bark. The cadets gasped, some whispering about the creature's sheer size. One cadet, a gelatinous blob with floating eyes, quivered. That's a pet? Kael smirked. Yup, my neighbor had one. Well, sort of. It lived in the woods behind her house. But she fed it marshmallows, named it Fuzzy. The room erupted in a mix of laughter and incredulity. Vraxis pinched the bridge of his snout, a universal gesture of exasperation. Cadet Kael, your anecdotes are disrupting the lesson. Sorry, instructor, Kael said, though his grin suggested otherwise. Just saying Earth's not as scary as you think. The next day, the cadets gathered in the Academy's simulation chamber, a vast dome designed to replicate any environment in the galaxy. Today, it was programmed to mimic Earth's wilderness. The instructor, a stern Eularian named Thrime, explained the exercise. You will face scenarios involving Earth's predators, Thrime said, their voice a low hum. Your task is to observe, strategize, and survive. Work as a team, and do not underestimate these creatures. Kael was grouped with 3 aliens, Solara, an Avix with sharp talons, Gorzod, a bulky Zerathian with a spiked carapace, and Lyrian, a telepathic cephalon whose thoughts shimmered in the air. As they stepped into the simulation, the dome transformed into a dense jungle, the air thick with humidity and the sounds of unseen creatures. Their first challenge appeared, a holographic jaguar, its eyes glowing in the underbrush. The cadets froze, their training kicking in. Solara's feathers puffed up and Gorzod's spikes bristled. Lyrian's thoughts pulsed with anxiety. Danger. Retreat? Kael crouched, studying the jaguar. It's stalking something. We can use that. Toss a stick to the right. It'll chase the noise. Gorzod hesitated but followed Kael's lead, hurling a branch into the foliage. The jaguar's head snapped toward the sound, and it bounded away, giving the team a chance to slip past. Solara's eyes widened. How did you know that would work? Kael shrugged. Watched a lot of nature vids. Plus, my cat back home does the same thing with a laser pointer. The team moved deeper into the simulation, facing a series of challenges. A rattlesnake coiled on a rock, a pack of wolves circling a clearing, and a swarm of bees that sent Gorzod scrambling behind a tree. With each encounter, Kael's instincts and quick thinking guided the team, earning reluctant respect from his alien teammates. Their final challenge was a grizzly bear guarding a narrow path. Its massive form loomed, and its growls sent shivers through the group. Lyrian's thoughts flashed. Too big, too dangerous. Kael studied the bear, his mind racing. It's protecting something, probably food. We don't need to fight it, we just need to distract it. He grabbed a handful of pebbles and tossed them into a nearby stream. The bear's head turned, and it lumbered toward the sound, allowing the team to sneak past. As they reached the exit, the simulation dissolved, and Thryme's voice echoed, Well done, Team 7. You've shown adaptability and teamwork. Sylara turned to Kael, her feathers smoothing. You're not what I expected, human. Kael grinned. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to pet a bear. A week later, the Academy announced a field trip to Earth, a rare opportunity to observe its wildlife firsthand. The cadets buzzed with excitement and apprehension, their minds filled with images of the predators they'd studied. Kael, now something of a celebrity among his peers, was tasked with guiding his team through Earth's wilderness. The transport ship landed in a clearing, surrounded by towering pines, the air rich with the scent of earth and sap. The cadets disembarked, their senses overwhelmed by the vibrant chaos of Earth. Birdsong, rustling leaves, and the distant howl of a wolf. "Welcome to my backyard," Kael said, spreading his arms. Well, not literally, but close enough. Scylla clutched her talons nervously. "Are we safe here?" "Safe as a picnic," Kael replied. "Just don't poke anything with sharp teeth." They ventured into the forest, Kael pointing out tracks and scat, explaining the behaviors of deer, foxes, and owls. The cadets marveled at the diversity, their fear slowly giving way to fascination. When a raccoon waddled out from the underbrush, Lyrian's thoughts lit up with delight. Small, curious, harmless? "Don't get too close," Kael warned. "They're cute, but they'll steal your lunch and bite your hand off." As they reached a riverbank, a bald eagle soared overhead, its wings cutting through the sky. Gorzod's spikes relaxed, and he let out a low rumble of awe. "Your planet is alive." Kael nodded. "Yeah, and it's got a temper. Respect it, and you'll be fine." The day took a tense turn when they stumbled across a mountain lion's tracks. The cadets froze, their training kicking in. Kael knelt, examining the prints. "Fresh. It's close." Before anyone could react, a low growl rumbled from the trees. The mountain lion stepped into view, its eyes locked on the group. Scylla's feathers flared, and Gorzod raised his spikes defensively. Lyrian's thoughts screamed, "Run!" "Stay calm," Kael whispered. "No sudden moves. Back away slowly." The cadets followed his lead, retreating step by step. The lion watched them, its tail twitching, but it didn't pursue. As they reached a safe distance, Scylla exhaled. "How do you live with these things?" Kael chuckled. "You learn to share the neighborhood." That evening, as the cadets set up camp, an urgent message came through from the academy. Thryme's holographic form appeared, their expression grave. "Cadets, we've detected unusual activity among Earth predators. Reports suggest they're exhibiting aggressive behavior, possibly due to environmental disturbances. We need you to investigate." Kael's team was assigned to a nearby monitoring station, where scientists were tracking a pack of wolves acting erratically. As they approached, they saw the wolves pacing a clearing, their hackles raised, barking at shadows. "Something's off," Kael said, scanning the area. "They're spooked." A loud crack split the air, and a bear lumbered into the clearing, its posture aggressive. The wolves growled, circling the intruder. Before the situation could escalate, a team of human rangers arrived, their vehicles roaring through the trees. They shouted commands, attempting to tranquilize the bear. Kael stepped forward, raising his voice. "Stop! You're stressing them out more." The lead ranger paused, surprised. "Who are you?" "Cadet Kael, Interstellar Academy," he replied. "These animals aren't aggressive unless provoked. You're making it worse." The ranger hesitated, then nodded. "All right, kid, what do you suggest?" "Give them space," Kael said. "Let them calm down. We'll monitor from a distance." The rangers backed off, and the cadets watched as the wolves and bear slowly dispersed, the tension easing. Thryme's voice crackled through their comms. "Well done, Cadet Kael. Your insight may have prevented a disaster." Back at the academy, the cadets gathered for a final debriefing. Thryme stood before them, their eyes gleaming with approval. "Your experiences on Earth have shown us the importance of understanding and respecting other species. Humans and their predators coexist in a delicate balance, one we must learn from." Kael raised his hand. "It's not just about survival, it's about connection. We can learn from each other. Humans, aliens, even the animals." The cadets nodded, their perspectives shifted. They had faced fear, embraced curiosity, and forged bonds that transcended species. As they left the auditorium, Kael lingered, staring at a hologram of Earth's forests. Scylla approached, her feathers soft. "You really think we can coexist with those creatures?" Kael grinned. "I know we can. Earth's taught me one thing. If you respect the wild, it respects you back." As the cadets prepared for their next mission, the galaxy felt a little smaller, a little more connected. They were no longer just students. They were ambassadors of understanding, ready to bridge the gap between worlds.